I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some things that you right now do not believe have anything to do with the video. But once you see, now this might take a half an hour, please buckle up and try to enjoy. Put your attitudes aside, put what you think you know aside. Set all your beliefs aside. Put black, white aside, put American, English aside, just set all that shit aside. Set Jew, set Golem, set all that shit aside. Just ignore it all and just try to listen. Now, when we first analyze things, the BBC right now, right, the British Broadcasting, whatever it is, company, is teaching children Romans and ancient British people were black. This is the Alex Jones channel. You can listen for 12 minutes. About the 10-minute mark, he stops bitching about the world and actually talks about the topic. Now, when we go to a video I've suggested to my viewers, Columbus and His Negro Friends by Karimio Ayu, excuse me, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I thought about where
you should definitely read
do I
that
start
book.
this video, and there's no better place to start this video.
You should definitely read that book. I've went over that with you in a couple of lessons. For those who remember, Christopher Columbus, his real name, half Blackmore, and his Negro friends, and King James, which is, of course, the Jacobites. So that's what he's kind of referring to. So those who read that lesson, just remember what you heard from that a little bit, so we connect with this. Okay? Let me stop talking, because I can be too long-winded sometimes.
But the beginning. Now, I don't know the author. I respect his work. So fair use. You know, if you don't want me to use your video, I'm sorry.
Ain't nothing wrong with the video if you got help, if it helps you teach, if it make it easier for the crowd. It's meant to be shared, and I hope that many share my videos. Any real good teacher don't mind if you share the video. They want you to share it. Plus, you bring them more followers if they realize it or not. Okay, hold on. What just happened with that?
If you still think Europe was all white,
Start this video, but the beginning. Now, I don't know the author. I respect his work.
Kamua.
Fair use. You know, if you don't want me to use your video, I'm sorry.
That was used to be what's his name's buddy? King dropped 432, but they not friends anymore. Apparently, they stopped being friends. Don't know what happened, so don't ask. We're saying the Aboriginal. Let me pause this some more. Let me turn this up a little more. So the Aboriginal. Who were the conquistadors?
Europe was not about white people. If you still think Europe was all white, you don't know what you're talking about. If you think that all Spaniards and all Portuguese were white, you don't know what you're talking about. If you didn't know there was black conquistadors, black Jews, aka Moranos, black Moors, / Europeans who helped the invasion and the finance of the conquest and the enslavement of your ancestors. And most likely are living amongst us today, their descendants. Talk about let's go back to Africa.
Now, if you're not paying attention, he just expressed that the descendants of the conquistadors are the people that say, let's go back to Africa.
Portugal, Spain, and Benin, Guinean Coast, Part 1, by Okwue Jiofo Anu. says here, Black Moorish Jews of Maghreb, Sudan, and Iberian Peninsula, the Marranos. Black Jews have lived in
They keep pushing back to Africa because that's where they from, and they want to try to get you to go. So we're not going to Africa. Y'all can go back to Africa, y'all. The ones that keep on saying go back to Africa, those are the descendants, okay, of the ones who enslaved your enemy, even if they look black. Remember, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Iberia and Africa as far back as the time of the Carthaginians. Jewish traders sailed on Carthaginian merchant ships.
To prove this, Hannibal is the Carthaginian. If you type in Hannibal and look at his coin, you will see Hannibal the Carthaginian. You will see an image of a black man.
Yep.
You can do this on your own time. You can pause the video right now and look it up.
Traded all along the coast of North Africa and even into the many African tribes along the coast of North Africa and way into the southern savannas. Beyond the Sahara deserts, they were ancient Hebraic Jewish tribes. So these were ancient Hebraic Jewish tribes. We'll see later what kind of Jewish or Hebraic tribes, so-called Jewish. Those tribes got caught up in the events that followed the death of the Islamic.
So you can see right there, the author is alluding to that they're not really Jews. They're just being called Jewish.
Prophet Muhammad, all the way from Medina to Maghreb. It is widely acknowledged that one of the most determined fighters against the black
That
Arab
J word is a pagan word anyway.
on black
We didn't call
African
ourselves
Berber
that. They
property was
started
Queen
to. We
Kahina,
gotta stop calling
a
ourselves the
black
name that the heathen and
Jewess,
Gentile
Queen
called
of the
us.
Maghreb.
Detox of the
Early
day,
Arab
please.
scholars who visited the southern fringes of the Sahara Desert report the presence of Jewish tribes in places such as ancient Ghana and Mali. Many tribes in Africa today still recall their Hebraic roots, and many more continue their ancient Jewish laws and tradition, unadulterated by the politics of modern days. When the African Moors moved north and conquered Spain, it was a confederation of African Muslims, African Jews, and African Christians who effected the victory.
Now, understand, it's a confederation. Now, there are many confederations, but remember what he just said, okay? And remember, Psalms 83, we are confederate against them, that their name be used no more. Now, these people did not say they were Israel. They said they were Jews.
So, these Moors, what it's telling us here, that invaded Europe, went and held it down for about 600, 700 years. It was a mixture of basically Muslims, Jews, and Christians. All colored or so-called Negroes, but they were...
Now, remember, Muslims, Jews, and Christians are fucking enemies. So, how is it that at this point in history, they're working together? Or alleged to be working together?
Different kinds of beliefs and tribes and people going up to Europe. It's not like they were all just Muslim, as most of us.
Now, look at these pictures. Now, you see some of these black people have afros and some of these black people have curly hair. That's stringy. Like this. Like this. Look how royal they are dressed. This is the real British people.
But there was also amongst them Jews. We'll see what kind of Jews these were.
Now again, listen how the author, who's showing you the books on screen, is saying, we'll see what kind of Jews these are. Each time Jew is mentioned, look at how he highlights. We'll see what type of Jew they're talking about. So obviously, from the author's perspective, and from many other people, there are different types of Jews. Now, from a biblical perspective, now you got to respect this, because this is what the Bible states. There are two types of Jew. There are the real bloodline Jew, bloodline of Jacob, which would be Afro-Asiatic. Not all Afro-Asiatics, but Jacob's people would be Afro-Asiatic. They would be a branch of the Afro-Asiatic line. they would be a particular branch. You would have this branch, then you would have what? Jacob's branch. Right? From Jacob's branch extends what? The 12 tribes. Now, that's the biblical true branch of Jews from Jacob to Judah. Okay? What? Yehuda. So it's Yehu. It's not even Jew. It's Yehu. Right? So on the other end, you have them that say they are Jews and are not. That just means they're just fucking liars. This is what the Bible states, whether you believe so or not. Open up the Bible. The term Jews used in the Old Testament, it's just written in English, and the letter J is created in the 1500s, so there's no way they're actually called Jews. There's no way he's actually called Jacob. You're looking at any kind of Bible dictionary, it's called Jacob. Jacob. Right? So.
Now, here's a trick. The line of Jacob is the devil. Sorry, the devil. Mental devil, the big head scientist's name was Jacob. So sorry to drop the bomb on you. He doesn't know about this yet, I don't think. Or if he does, he'll expose it within a matter of 2 minutes. So Jacob was the big head scientist who made an outside nation who was not a nation. Just let you know, okay? And he did it because he wanted them to be mean to so-called black people. And he said he was coming back and all other stuff. The Siva that never rose. Okay, it just goes more depth into the story. So that's why I tell y'all, watch the Big Head Scientist story, please. Y'all do need to watch just to understand what I'm talking about.
On the other end, there's people that say they are Jacob, and they're not. And that's in Revelation chapter 2:9. And the Christians wanted the Christians to know it's also in Revelation chapter 3:9. Them that say they are Jews and are not. So let's continue to listen what the author says.
The African Jews and the African Muslims were brothers genetically.
I'm going to tell you that, don't use the names. If you use that name, you're really still screwing yourself. Don't use those names.
Pursuing the same goals of righteous existence, right? So there's some relation there, right? They're saying, well, we know that the Muslims and the, Hebrews, they say that one of their patriarchs is Abraham, so there is correlation in that.
Now, it's very clear that if Jews and Muslims have the same bloodline, now Muslim is just a title. Now, even though Jew is a title, it's a title for people from the bloodline of, again, Jacob. Now, I, you, me, we all know Muslims are black. Now, we see today there are plenty of Arab Muslims. Now, if you go to the history of that, you'll find I'm being truthful. Everything has been taken from the black people. If you see the British kings and queens were black, and everything's been stolen from them, then what do you think happened to the other black people around the world?
Old Testament, right? So it continues, says, so the African Moorish Empire took root in Iberia and the rest of the southern Mediterranean coast. Black African Muslims and black African Jews with their black African Christians as such ruled Europe for the next 700 years.
Now, look at these images. These are royal images. This isn't made up stuff. These things you can find in the museums. They keep them in the basement. They bring them up periodically.
BreakingIsraelNews.com. It says here, was Christopher Columbus a Marrano Jew? His Hebrew writing says yes. Right, so according to this article, they are correlating that Christopher Columbus is a Marrano Jew.
Okay, so let's play the barbarian word game. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break everything into syllables, okay? So, mar-ran-o, okay? So, what is mar? All right, to mar something is to scar something, right? So, let's say a slave brand is a scar, right? So, if you have Scar, and you have what? Ran. Run. The man that ran. The man with the scar that ran. Marano. Right? These people, some people groups ending with ITE, some people groups end words with ICE, some people groups end words with Marano, the man with the scar that ran. Right? So when they scarred the men with the Fleur de Lis, right? The New England States symbol, right? Oh, this is one of those things I should have had up on screen, right? Because when you record, it takes forever to bring it up. Let's just, oh, there it is finally. Oh, I spelled it wrong again. My city education. Three-petal leaf, right? And then you can always put Fleur de Lis, slavery. You know, historians say it has a troubled history, right? Because it's a symbol, deeply rooted in slavery. It doesn't matter if it says, Louisiana. It came from somewhere. The people that brought it to Louisiana brought it from their homeland.
We'll talk about what Marano is in a moment. In the beginning, the more historians research Christopher Columbus, the more they question the true origins of the great explorer credited for discovering America. In fact, there is growing speculation that Columbus was a Jew, fleeing the Spanish Inquisition rather than an Italian, high-ranking Ferdinand and Queen Isabella to find riches in Asia. There is a lot of evidence that Christopher Columbus was a man of...
Now, if you look at Ferdinand and Isabella,
Christopher Columbus.
Ferdinand.
Wow, y'all hear that?
Isabella.
So they're saying
That's
he's
my
hold
shitty
on.
education.
The dude that doing the other videos is pretty informational and he usually knows what he's talking about. He just read that what they put in that book that he's reading is that Christopher Columbus was not only just a half black Moor, but also was a black Jew. Which the word's pagan, but you know what I mean. He was one of us. And he was fleeing from the Spanish Inquisition for his life. There's evidence showing this now. So basically, they're not even telling us who the ringleader was that was on the ship, who did a lot of the telling them how to kill and all this other stuff. Because Christopher Columbus was a half black Moor, and if he was a half black Jew, and he is fleeing from the Spanish Inquisition for his life, unless he did it anyway, because he was a half black Moor. So let's go into this further. Let's just keep watching this.
Spelling that. All right, so it's Catholic monarchs, right? So if you put Negro, let's see what you get.
See what we got.
All right, let's go.
Wow.
So as you scroll down, you start to see images of color, as if he was mixed or black, and she was his pale princess. All right, so
now if he did that, made outsider,
yeah,
then there's a chance that he did do that.
African king in the European Renaissance.
Wow.
All right, so it exists. We just don't have the know-how to find it just right yet.
Seeking to help his brethren escape certain depths of conversion in
He was
Spain,
helping his brother
and even that he
escape
dreamed of
certain depths.
rebuilding the third holy temple in Jerusalem. Noted Roni
Help build
Sigal,
it?
academic advisor for the Israel Institute of Biblical Studies, an online language academy to break For starters, Georgetown University linguist Estelle Isi Sara has analyzed hundreds of Columbus' handwritten letters, diaries, and documents. She found that Columbus' primary language was Castilian Spanish, the Yiddish of the day for Spanish Jews, otherwise known as Ladino. Alright, so Yiddish. I'm talking about Paleo Hebrew.
Okay, so you just heard Latino come up. Now, this is important
So
in,
what
in
he's saying
itself.
is he was half.
And one of the viewers left in the comments.
Okay, half
you
black,
can
Spanish
find
more, half black, one of our people.
the king
But he married an outside
Latanius
nation.
in the
That
book
would make
of
sense if he still
Yasher.
did that, though, because if he married an
And
outside nation, you're gonna
you
find
start to
ways
see
side with that nation
Latinius
instead of siding with your people.
right here in 7 and 8. And in 6, in those days died Janus, king of the children of Chittim. And they buried him in his temple, which he had built for himself in the plain of Canopia, for a residence, and Latanius reigned in his stead. In the 22nd year of the reign of Moses over the children of Cush, Latanius reigned over the children of Chittim 45 years, and he built for himself a great and mighty tower, and he built therein an elegant temple for his residence, and to conduct his government, as was the custom. Now, we see that Latanius, from the encyclopedias and dictionary, is an indigenous king. We all know that the Afro peoples, Afros, were the kings, and we can see that some of the kings that were the same color as the Afro people did not actually have afros. They had big, straight, curly hair. That is to show us that, if you look, you remember this image right here, right, where it's 618, remember this image here, right? Don't be forgetful that fast. So back to 618.
Paleo Hebrew, they're talking about Yiddish. So what they speak today in Israel is Yiddish as well. Columbus also left money to other explorers with the belief that his successors would eventually liberate the Phoenicians.
Excuse me, one more time. If you go into my videos, you will see the general's son from Israel from the 1967 war, all right? The 3-day war. The great-grandson of the general publicly denounces that Israel has any blood to the ancient people of the book called the Bible. He states that most of those people in Israel today are the descendants of what we call the Ukraine.
Ashkenazis, the Khazarians, the fake ones that say they are but they're not, although they use a pagan name. J word, the J, and that J's pagan.
So this has all been public. So the idea that you call people in Israel Jews, and they are not, they are actually Ukrainian, fits Bible prophecy, fits scripture of the New Testament. But again, the people that call themselves Christians, who act one way, completely different than the Ten Commandments say, they proclaim that these pale people are what? Israel.
Simon Wiesenthal writes in his book Sails of Hope that Columbus' voyage was motivated by a desire to find a safe haven for the Jews suffering from the Spanish Inquisition. Echoing this sentiment, Carol Delaney, a cultural anthropologist at Stanford University, believes that Columbus was deeply religious and sought Christians in order to finance the return of Jerusalem to the Jewish people and rebuild the temple. Right? So you see Columbus, in his ideas and his beliefs, You know, you did right.
Now on the screen they show you, they say Saxe
Delaney, a cultural anthropologist
woman.
at Stanford University, believes
I'm having a hard time backing this one off.
that Columbus was deeply religious man who sought riches in order to finance the return of Jerusalem to the Jewish people and the rebuilding of its holy temple. Right? So you see.
Now, if you play the barbarian game of syllables, the city of David, ancient Jerusalem, look down at the bottom, it says Sak Se Wa Man, fortress, citadel. Now, take the syllables of Sak Se, okay? Sak Se, in our terms, is sexy with a Y.
Wow.
Sexy, sexy, and then you have Wa Man. Okay, you already see what it is. Sexy woman. All right?
What the?
The jewel to allure the true Israelites out of Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, and back home. Everybody says, where do we go when we leave? We make our way back to Saksewama, to our sexy woman, our jewel. Jerusalem, 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 however you want, Jerusalem.